All right, we're doing this sweet little robin today. It is going to be so much fun. I'm excited. I hope that you guys are too. Let's just jump right in. Hello and welcome to Deliberately Creative. I'm Stephanie. This is what we're doing today. This cute little robin in a glass ball. We did make escape routes and entry routes into the ball, so this little guy can go in and out as he chooses. I think I've seen some bird feeders that were sort of similar, not quite that small, maybe a bit bigger, but where they could fly through, get their food, and fly out. It's kind of a cool idea. If it isn't made, maybe somebody could make one. Share your picture if you do. Welcome everyone. We have people driving back from Alabama. Laura. Okay, you guys just be really safe. I hope you're the passenger so that you can enjoy the pictures, and if you're not, just have the sound coming through and don't be looking. I want you to be safe and to get home in one piece. All right, we're going to do this cute little robin. It was drawn during my 31 days. I know most of you have been here for a long time. You already have heard all of the spiel. After the show, I will have the iCard linked up here with the 31 pictures drawn in one episode, 8.5 hours long. It is all time stamped, and there's a flip through at the end of the video, so you can flip through from the timestamp. Just click flip through, and it will go through all 31 of the designs, and then you can just click on the ones you want to watch. It makes it kind of fun and easy that way. Passenger only. Excellent. And welcome Katie and Amy and Debbie and Darcy and Joanne. Laura. Yeah, I thought I saw, there's more people in here. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, share, all the things. And we'll talk about the stuff that I have for sale in a little bit. I am going to put in a very, very soft sky, I think. I want the background to have this soft blue. And then I'm going to dry it. We'll put trees down here along the bottom, like far away, very simple, easy dab type trees. You're gonna love it. And to start off with, though, I am going to grab, to start off with, I was going to get some water on here. I guess I have a little bit of blue already. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Just very soft. Maybe I'll just pick up a little bit more of that blue and more water on the brush. We'll just do it like that. This is almost a springtime blue or a soft winter blue. Not a cloudy sky blue. I'm taking it straight through the ball, around the little robin. I guess I could go right over the robin since the robin is, predominantly red and brown, but I figure let's just jump right in. Go. I'm not taking it over the ribbon. Just get some color in here. And yeah, it's a little bright, but you know what? We kind of need that. Sometimes the lighting is a little bit weird. I'm just going to let that be softer as we come down. And I'm actually going to wipe out the paint, or not wipe it out completely, but sort of dab the paint that's on the inside of the ball. So it's very, very pale inside. And yeah, I just jumped right in. I just jumped right in today. I am feeling it. I've been excited to do this one. So, wow. And thank you guys for sharing this video with your friends. And thank you for sharing it on your social media and sharing my channel with your friends. It's helping. I'm hoping that we've turned the corner and we're going to just start growing the channel really, really big, really, really fast. And just dabbing some of that paint out of there. That way see. Let's see if we go sideways, if that's going to show it a little bit. No, that's even more bright. Let's see. Maybe we go. We'll darken it up, but I'm going to go to the other screen. Just have to do it this way. There we go. I'm going to dry this. I'm already drying. Or maybe, yeah, I'm just going to dry. I just want it to be a soft blue, kind of a soft washed out wintry blue for the sky. Hello, Diane. Welcome. It's so nice seeing my friends show up every Monday morning. You love the little red-breasted robins here? Yes. So now, I was doing some research. Now, I've known this for a while, that the little robins in Britain are different, or in Europe, are different than the robins we have here in the United States. Now, I don't know if maybe on the East Coast, if we get some of the little European robins showing up, but I do know that on the West Coast we don't. So I did not grow up with this cute little robin. While that's drying a little more, I will go and bring up, I went on to Unsplash. This time I went on to Unsplash. Yeah, this time it was Unsplash. And I did a quick search for robins. And now these are all European robins. See how they're sweet, cute little guys? Tiny little. But then this robin right here is the American robin. And apparently the British or European robin is part of the flycatcher family. And the American robin is part of the thrush family. And they're both songbirds, apparently. I don't know if anybody knows the British robin. Does the British robin sing? The thrush does sing. The male thrush has a beautiful voice and makes beautiful songs in the springtime. And winter is when we see them most down around our house. But they're year-round residents. It's just they seem to come into town more when it is... Let's get back to that. When it is in the winter time, we see them more in town. Yes, European robins, they look like little, just cute little egg-shaped birds. And I did draw this on that marathon live. I also did a robin on my, I did a bird video. I can't remember how many birds I did. I will link that up in the iCard also. But we did a whole bunch of birds, and that was a lot of fun. I'm going to go do my dab trees down here at the bottom, and I'm going to start off with a washed out green, but it's going to be a dark washed out green. You know what I mean? Kind of a grayed out. And I'm going to put, let's see. I'm trying to think if the trees are going to come up above or if they're going to stay low. I think I'm going to keep my trees kind of low. These are just your little dabby type trees. Soft. I want it soft. You're not going to see the top of that one in the ball. Maybe we'll do one that's up tall. I'm taking some of that C25 on this palette. It's kind of a gold green. And then this is the, let's see which color. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's number 4 coming down. So this is C37 on the palette is the blue. Because I know a lot of people actually do have these palettes. Ooh, that one's a lot more blue. Let's get a lot more green into it. And then some more water. No robins. No, you guys have a lot of other kinds of birds, though, in Australia. A lot of other kinds. So I'm just putting sort of that evergreen fir tree type look. Maybe this one is really tall. And I am going to have it sort of poking through the glass, but not across the bird. And not in that little area there, because I'm saying that there's a filled in space where the bird is standing. We've got that water going on. I'm saying that that's snow on the trees. I think that's just going to be part of that tree. Maybe we've got just two trees and they're coming down towards each other. Or maybe this is a darker one. I'll figure that out in a minute. You can do that. You can figure things out later. You don't have to have it all worked out. Like that tree is turning into something bigger, a little bit more different. Yeah, there's going to be another tree that's right here. It's coming up behind, through the glass. The parts that are going into the glass, though, I am going to soften. I'm not going to have them be quite so strong. It's being diffused by the glass. This little European robin is has kind of come into my world. I live in the state, the Evergreen state, Pacific Northwest, Washington. That's looking good. I think we're going to dry it. You have magpies. Yes. And the rainbow lorikeets and the cockatoos. I loved all of the different kinds of birds. Yeah, those rainbow lorikeets, they fly in huge flocks and make a big racket. You've got 60 acres of trees, Joanne? Woo! Vancouver, Washington, the town that I live in, is actually an American tree city. We're also a rhododendron city. So we are, and that was one of the things that I really loved when we went to Ireland, and seeing all of the rhododendrons, huge hedges of them, growing up like trees. But yeah, those lorikeets, they're loud, beautiful but loud. I'm going to put a little bit of more that sort of straight green down in here. Maybe right up underneath of his tail. I'm just giving it a little more depth. It doesn't have to be, and I mean, look at this. This is a pile of tree without really being a tree. I'm not painting a tree or trees. I'm just painting some dabs, little dabs here and there. Dab, 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 dab. And maybe there'll be another one that's sort of just poking up down here. Or maybe I don't want it coming up underneath of the bird in the, there we go. Just make that one a little bit, I'm saying this one is ending like right here under his feet, inside behind. There we go. But having fun, finding things out about nature around you is so much fun. Especially in this day when we're hanging closer to home, we're not traveling so much. That just turned into sort of a blobby blob. I'm going to just get that wet and dab it out a little bit. Hey, Jan, welcome. You made it. So fun to see you. I love when my friends can come in and share some time with us. And no, you don't have to stay the whole time. Guys, I think I'm going to put a darker tree off this edge over here. I'm having fun making trees. I think it's just going to be some branches sort of sticking in. Maybe not as dark as the one that's there in front. Just give us a little more depth, a little more detail. I want that one in front to be much darker, so I'm just going to grab a lot of that blue. There. See, I needed more detail on that one. This one's been trimmed, I think. It looks like a Christmas tree. And sometimes you find that out in nature, some trees that were just perfectly shaped, and some trees that, oh wow, you know, they had a rough life. Layering them up, not worrying about making it perfect, but just having fun. So I wanted a little bit more detail right up here at the top. I'm still leaving some of that snow on those branches. Kind of breaking it up just a little bit up here. Do what makes you happy. Do what seems right, what feels right. And sometimes I'll say, you know, don't go too far, don't worry about the details, and then I continue worrying about the details. And many times I'm trying to tell myself, don't worry about the details. Don't push that so far. Don't be so, you know. I think I'm going to have to bring some gouache down here to lighten up that tree just a bit. Hey, we made it to the week where Christmas happens. I have my live stream today. I have a live stream tomorrow. And then we're going to go and do some, I think that Wednesday will be a premiere. I'm just putting some of that white gouache in there. Lighten up that just a little bit. See? Go put some details back in that you want. And then I'm softening it. See, making those little piles of snow just sort of soften out. Oh, excellent. Excellent. With the books and the Uniball pens. Oh my goodness, you've got quite a catch on your order. Let's look at that. You know what? I'm happy. I'm happy with that. I'm not going to mess with that background right now. We might do a little bit more detail, maybe, or maybe not. We need to see what it looks like after it's dry, but I want to start working on the robin and getting some color in on him. And I do have one of the little robins that I found on Unsplash. Whoop. I already have it up there. Look at that. So that little robin right there. We've got. So we'll be able to have a reference for the colors. That reference for the colors. I am using my favorite. I'm still going to use my favorite number 12 round by Creative Mark. It is the Mimic. M-I-M-I-K, Creative Mark Brush. And looking at that, the one right up there, you see down his chest, we've got a brighter light. I'm going to try and keep the lighting on the bird here at least similar to what we've got in the reference. So what I need is a bit of a yellow. Of course, now the reference is sitting on top of my palette. I can move the reference. There we go. We're going to put that yellow, boom, bright, right down here in his chest to give us the brightest highlights. Get those lights on there first so that you've got room to go darker. Oh, Linda, but you missed the one from yesterday. Yes, you did. I didn't see you. But you know what? I don't expect everybody to make it to every single show. I love when I see people returning, coming back. It's so much fun to see people come back and watch. But remember, these videos are available forever. I'm not taking. I was searching around for a paper napkin. This one has seen some better days, but it's dry and it will dry my brush off. So, your trees always look like a 5-year-old did them. You know what? Everybody's trees look like a 5-year-old did them when they first start painting trees. And if you continue to think about trees the way you did when you were 5. So, you know, there was the stick and then there were some branches. Or there was the triangle and the trunk. Or there was the stick and then there was the lollipop on top. Those were the kinds of trees we drew when we were 5. And so when we start drawing again, we tend to fall back to the ones that we know. Instead of looking and kind of squint your eyes and look at the shapes but not think trees. I mean, if you don't think trees, this is just green shapes, green blobs, green dabs on the paper. So I am going to grab some of this darker orange. It's kind of bright, but not. This one's a little bit darker. I'm actually going to take a tiny touch of green and add a little green, that green blue that I had down here. Look at that. It changes that color just a little bit. And so then I can look around his little face and go, we've got sort of a shadow coming off the back here. Kind of his beak is shadowing his face here. And that way we can have some of that yellow as the highlight. I just dabbed off the color onto my paper towel. And now I'm going to move this around a little bit and just pick up some straight orange. Leaving some of that yellow showing. I am getting so excited for New Year's Eve. You know, Christmas hasn't even happened and I'm excited for New Year's Eve because I'm prepping for the marathon. See, by having put that yellow on first and then put the orange on, I can take off a lot of that orange. And it stains it. It gets some color on there, but it doesn't have to be as bright. Look, you can pull it back. That yellow now is really that lovely highlight. So there we go. Soften that up. And his chest is pretty much, pretty much done there. I do see something. Now, when I was putting my pen lines on, I kind of doubled up some pen lines that I'm not really super happy about. Nice thing is, with a touch of gouache, I can paint out some of that doubled up pen line just a little bit, just to soften it. Because if you look at this reference here, there's right along this edge of his belly, there's kind of a brighter, softer gray color. So this soft gray is going to be blue. Whoops. I'm on the wrong pad. That's not blue, that's green. That would not have been a good color. And that's one of the reasons why I like to dab the paint down onto my little palette. You can't wait for the marathon and stay for the whole thing. Ah, Jan, just know that I don't expect anybody to actually stay for the whole thing. It's a long road. What I did, look, I have that Prussian blue. I picked up some of that orange green, and now I've got this kind of soft blue gray. Might even put just a tiny touch more blue back into it. And then I'm going to work it around. Aha, there. There, and coming down around his shoulder in front, coming down towards his belly. And now, that's pretty strong to start off with. I'm just going to go boop and lift it. So now we've got that soft blue, and over the top of his head, he's got a bit of a brown tone. It's sort of more of a sepia, kind of more the sepia brown tone. And I'm going to mix it with a bit of that blue gray. And we're going to have that coming right here, right over the top. And that water is, the paint is still wet where the gray is. So when I take this over it, it's going to blur. Let's zoom in closer on that. See how that is blurring ever so slightly? It's softening up. It's not a harsh line. I might even sort of feather it off just a tiny bit. We're going to give him just a little bit of more hair. More feathers. Soften that line. Even though there's a black outline up there, you don't notice it. You really don't notice it so much. See? Then we've got this brown that comes down, and now the brown is going to be coming down onto the dry part of the wing also. And that allows me to make some finer lines. But then I can bring it up into that slightly wet gray, and it will soften. I want to soften that up right there just a smidge. See, you look at it and go, oh, well, what would make him feel like he's more rounded? The wet body? No. This is on a dry surface. So I put that gray down on the dry paper first, that gray blue, and then the gray blue was still wet when I put the brown up here on the top of his head. So right now, everything up here is a little bit damp, but not totally. That just doesn't feel focused. Why is that not focused? There. That feels a little more focused. And now I'm working my way down his wing. I'm going to give sort of a base coat of this brownish tone. Maybe pick up a little bit of that gray tone into the brown so it will change just a little bit. Ooh, look at that. See? You get some variations just by changing the color ever so slightly. You are the one that's in control of this. I'm looking at that going, just get some color down on his little wing, on his tail, darken it up under here. Look at that. We're getting it in. We're going to just take just the tip of that brush with that slightly darker color. See, little birds like this don't have to take you a long, long time. You can actually get something like this done really fast. So there we go. I love the chat going on here, guys. I'm looking up and I'm giggling inside at the comments about the now I can't even say it, spell check and the autocorrect and the words that you didn't Nintendo. I love my niece Catherine. She is so clever with the words. I am going to take a little bit of the gray again. Just make that blue gray, a little bit of orange into it. And I want to put just a few little shadows. See? Shadows are underneath of things. So if you think about it, you're pushing a shadow up underneath, and those little highlights then pop on top. And yeah, that sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. Pop on top, or hop on top of pop. I love Dr. Seuss. I'm going to bring a little bit of some detail right over here. See how just putting a few little dabs of that darker color, don't go too harsh on it. I'm going to wipe off some of that. Bringing a little bit of it up. Remember that I did put gouache right here, so if I rub back and forth in it, it will end up feeling like the paint has gone whitish, chalky gray. And I don't really want that. It's not going to hurt it if it does, but I don't really want it. So let's take a look. I think that is looking really sweet. Good old hop on pop. I am so impressed with people who are multilingual, who have the ability to use and, you know, not just use a few words in another language, but to actually hold conversations, to teach other people. You know, people like you, Linda, you totally rock. I do not have a second spoken language. That is something that I always have sort of regretted in life, not having learned a second language. I know it's not too late, actually, and that might be something. I know there's programs out there online that you can do. I'm just taking that gray and sort of dabbing it around in different places. sort of not really, you know, it doesn't really look like I'm doing much, but it's making me happy. Just working that gray in. I think I want to actually work a little bit of some burnt sienna type color. This is the C42 on here. I say this is burnt sienna. It's a very orangey brown. And I just want to go and give a little bit more shadow under the beak and heading towards the back of the face. And up this edge right here. But I'm going to leave that little spark of light right there. And then I see a few little feathery bits down here. Let's see. Oh my goodness. That would have been quite yeah, misspelling the state of Virginia would be to a body part would be very embarrassing. But you know what? You power on through. No matter how awful that must have felt, you powered through, you made it through, you're still alive today, and now you can laugh about it, right, Jan? That little bit of orange that was in my brush, I'm actually putting it back here in the wing, even though it doesn't show that brown. I'm, you know, that's just what I'm doing. These little birds, they become your little fantasy world. You can make them whatever you want. Well, maybe not so much brown down here in the body though, under the tummy. All right, I want to put some white or blue. I mean, white. I'm going to put some blue down here. I'm saying that this is actually snow that he's standing on inside of the ball. I don't know. Doesn't really make any sense. It's just what I'm doing. I think I'm going to, the ball is going to be very blue. So I'm going to go ahead and put my dark line of blue down here at the bottom for the thickness of the glass. Put a little bit more of that darker blue. Thickness of the glass. The light doesn't shine through it as strongly in my mind. Now that doesn't mean that I'm not going to put a highlight on it, because I'm certainly going to put highlights on there. It's going to be more blue underneath of the hanger. And right here at the top. I'm going to wash some of that darker blue in right behind the robin, kind of in a bullseye, sort of like a circle behind him. And then soften it up. I just want it to have a little bit of depth in the ball behind. Now the blue is more staining, so it will stay more in place. It doesn't shift as easily as some of the other colors. Hello, Callum. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Let's zoom out a little bit on it so people can see. See what we're looking at here? Look at that. Oh, he's looking really sweet. And this doesn't have to be just for Christmas. This little guy is anytime. You know, winter, up in the mountains, wherever you happen to be and you see him. It's always a fun thing. I think we're going to go with a surprising color. Let's see, what would the surprising color of ribbon be? I don't want it to be too glaringly weird. Maybe a burgundy type color. Sort of a deep, rich color. Put it down darkest in the shadow areas and then work our way out. I hope you guys are enjoying this. If you are, I have done 20 other paintings already this month. One a day on live streams. All done from our marathon that we did on the 30th of November. And I drew 31 drawings. I am painting on the original artwork that I drew during that live stream. And if you want to be able to paint along with me, I'm going to let that dry for a second. I haven't done this. So, you know, we're going to do this little the little ad break right now. Let that dry for a second. So, 31 cute and creative hand-drawn winter ornaments to print and color. Instant download from Teespring. There's 31 designs. I'll just flip it wherever it flips. 31 different designs in here. And if you don't, and that's available on Teespring. The link is up in, there will be a link up here in the iCard after the show. There is a link in the chat right now and a link down below in the more information. I do have also the Cute and Creative Winter Ornaments as a printed coloring book that you can get from Amazon. And off of Teespring again, we have 2 sets of holiday tags. So if you are, you know, last minute wrapping gifts and you need tags, you don't have to run to the store. I have 2 sets. Set 1 is days 1 through 9 of all of the designs that were hand painted on live shows. And you get it 2 ways. So that's set 1. And then we have set 2. And set 2 has these designs. These were all hand painted on live. So you can learn how to paint these guys. And if you download if you downloaded both this and the digital download book, you would have color references that would go with the coloring book. See? And then as with the backgrounds also. So you get the closer up version of the ornament and you get a color reference of the background. I just thought about that just now, thinking, oh, well, somebody could download both of the tags and the book and you would have 18 of the designs in the 31 designs. I don't know if I'm going to put together a set 3. That would be if you guys want me to do it as a after Christmas season. I could do that. I'm looking at this going, I need to get my hanger on and the highlights and a little bit more shadow in the ball and a little bit more on the ribbon. I'm going to hit that ribbon with some air and dry it. You can get, thank you, Jan. Yeah, you can get the full-size sheets of Avery Label that's like one huge sheet of sticker paper, and you can run it through your printer and print it on stickers, and then you can just cut them out with scissors. That would be the easiest way that I can think of to make stickers from those covers. See, I have some full sheet sticker paper, and I made, these are actually stickers that I made from the cover. So the cover of, come on. So of this, I made stickers. Pretty cool, huh? And then stickers of the cutout round ones also. You could do it with the bigger ones too. You know, if you wanted to make big sticker labels, you could do that with these also. They wouldn't be as fiddly to cut out. Okay, so now I want to take magenta, I think, onto that ribbon. I'm going to brighten it up a little bit. There we go. That burgundy was just a little too dark, a little too dull. I want a little bit brighter, more festive color in here. But not taking out all that burgundy color because it works really well as the highlights. See? But yeah, having the label kit or the tag kit for all kinds of gifts. They're not just Christmas, you know. That's what I like, is that. So yeah, this one's kind of Christmassy here, but that's just a star. You know, this is just, well, he's Christmas. This is just a penguin wanting to go for a swim with his cap on. What's what? His beak? Whose beak? Oh, the beak. Thank you. Thank you. The beak. The beak is just dark brown, the dark gray color, that sort of dark blue gray color. So I'm just going to go and grab some of that blue and kind of set it here and actually take a little bit of that orange into it, I think. And the tip of his beak is much darker, but I don't want it to be too dark. Just a couple little dabs. The underside is going to be darker than the top because it's more in shadow. And look at that, easy. His legs are already dark. You know, when you've got a color on your brush, you can go and put it other places if you want. So I had that dark color in my brush. I'm just going to put a few dabs of that up here on the wing and down here underneath on the tail. Maybe up here at the back of his head. Just a few little details here and there. And maybe just a little bit more of that bluey color, just a little bit darker. Wow. And the Prussian blue and indigo blues, those work really, really well to add depth to shadows on so many colors. Look at that ribbon now. Boom. I think I might take a little bit of that white gouache with that kind of gray blue that's on my brush right now. I'm going to use that to give just a little bit of some highlights on the tips. A little bit of shine, but it's not a bright white shine. And then I'm going to soften it out just a little bit. I just want it to be a little bit of a shimmer, not adding any metallics to it this time. You could certainly add metallic to that. It is inside the glass ball. It's going to be a little bit more dull than being on the outside. And now I'm going to grab that Prussian blue, and I think I can turn the picture of the little bird off. Boom. There we go. And I'm going to touch that down here, get it watered down a little bit. I want to go and put, I'm actually going to bring that around and behind. Bring it around and a little bit behind. See, using those darker tones to get us a bit of form, a bit of shadow, and a bit of place for the highlight. Just makes it feel a little bit more like glass, like he's inside of a glass ball. I just took that Prussian blue straight on. Now that I've got water or wet paper, I can let it bleed out just a little bit. And I'm taking a little bit of that blue as a darker shadow. Because what is that doing? That's making those lighter blues into my glass highlights. Don't be afraid to take some of that blue right across your bird that you just did. Right across. Have fun. Golly, that's looking good. Yeah, the little dipped bits in and out. Oh my goodness, he's looking cute. He is looking really cute. I want to put out a little bit more gouache. So if you're enjoying this, make sure that you click that like button. I'd really love to see us. We've got 51 in the viewing right now. I'd love to see us make it up to 50 likes by the end of the show. That would be amazing. You know what makes it effortless is that I don't care. I'm not, if this doesn't turn out, yeah, it might be a little embarrassing because I'm doing in front of a live audience, but I usually can make it work. And if you go into things with the idea that I usually can make it work out, even if it doesn't look right to begin with, I can usually work something out. So it's just paper and a little bit of paint and some time. And yeah, my time, your time, is valuable. Time is always valuable. But right now, in this moment, it's just paper and paint. And experience. And even if it totally went sideways, I have experience now and can play with it and boom, just say, I'm going to go for it. And that's it. It's a bravery test. What am I going to do? I'm going to go for it. Right across. Boom. And then if I don't like how it first initially went down, I can go back and I can touch it up a little. I can rinse my brush out and I can have less gouache on my brush. I can add little highlights here and there. Little highlights here and there. You are the one in control of your painting. You are the one who can say, I am done, or I want to set it to the side and practice a little more. Remember that if you look at it as if you are doodling instead of doing a painting. This is a card. This is the front of a card, or this is for a tag. If you give yourself permission that it is something small and, if you like it, it's awesome. And if you don't like it, somebody else is probably going to like it. Catherine, you bought some watercolors? And you haven't watercolored in nearly 20 years. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Congratulations. Apparently my brush had some paint in it. I will put out some fresh white. That's why I put out just tiny little dabs of it. This has made it all this month so far. And I have already done the recordings for the paintings for the 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. So those are ready. I just have to schedule. I'm just putting some little bit brighter highlights here and there. You don't want your paint to be too thick. It can flake off if you put it on in too thick of a manner. You want it to be probably the gouache. You want it to be sort of like extra heavy cream. I just want to see if I can get a brighter white highlight right out here. And if you can't get as bright, there it goes. If you can't get as bright a highlight as you want, grab the white acrylic paint. I'm going to flip this over because it's a little bit hard for me to, it's much easier to pull a line than it is to push. And my line got a little bit thick. I'm rinsing my brush out and I'm going to just clean up that line a little bit. See, look at that. The line got a little thick. No big deal. Gouache is so forgiving. And watercolor, really, as much as I was so afraid of watercolor when I first started, there's nothing to be afraid of. I don't know what I was afraid of. I think because I always saw people doing watercolor with these really big brushes and really splashy colors. And I think the thought that it could get away from me and that I didn't have control over it was part of the scariness. But really, look at this. You can do tiny little details. There are people who do hyperrealism with watercolor. So I need to put a little bit of that wimpy black up there. The black on here, they call it 42.9. I don't know. It's weird. They call it 42.9. But it's a very, very wimpy black. But it works so well for the cap. It gives kind of an antique metal feel. Without having to do much. And because I have a little bit of that blue from the sky in here, that adds to the depth. Putting some shadow underneath of there. I want to put a little bit more shadow under the cap with the blue. And this is that Prussian blue. tiny little brush this time. This is the number 2 round Mimic. It all came in the Mimic Try It pack, which has like 4 or 5 brushes. It's listed down below on my Amazon shop, so if you are interested. I'm just putting a little bit of some shadowy bits here and there. A little bit darker shadows. Not too worried. I do want to put a little bit more shadowy shimmer. I'm making this up. I don't have a ball with these highlights and such, so I'm sort of making it up as I go along. I like the idea of, you know, because it's in real space, it could have these extra little reflections and little things happening. All right. I do need to sign inside the ball. So if I decide to make this into tags, it's so much easier if I have signed it inside the little ball. We're gonna dry it, and then we're gonna pull the tape off. Hello, Thelma. Thelma, thank you so much for being right there with, to being on the text. So she's watching on TV in the living room and asked if I was watching too. Well, Thelma, welcome. So exciting. I love having people joining from all over the place. Your Santa just told you yesterday that he asked for a new pair of sneakers and a hoodie for you, and was like, dude, I'm in quarantine. Should I put the new sneakers to go in the kitchen? Huh? Bring me some watercolors or a pen set. Santa, bring me watercolors and a pen set. Yeah, well, there's been lots and lots of fun giveaways available on Instagram lately. You know, 12 days of Christmas stuff, 8 days of Christmas. Lots of our friends are doing giveaways because they're working with all these different big companies. It's so fun. Oh, look at that. Oh, how pretty. When you take that paper away, that board, let's zoom out just a bit. Look at that, guys. Isn't it sweet? Now this could go onto any season. This could just be a card for any time. Wouldn't that be pretty as a little thank you? Because making thank you cards is what we're supposed to do next, right? We made our Christmas cards, now it's time to make thank yous. Look at that. I'm so excited. He turned out. So if you want to know where to get these designs for all 31 cute and creative hand-drawn winter ornaments to print and color, the link is in the chat down below in the more information. Will be up here, and it's all available on Teespring. Also available on Teespring. So if you wanted to get the book and have color references the way I colored it. Now, this is just a reference, an idea, a suggestion, a place to go. Set 2 of my cards. And look at that. You would get both the background and the ornament so that you could have all of those color references. You can make stickers from the cover. And the original set 1 is also available on Teespring. And I am really, really happy to share that with you. If you are somebody who doesn't have a printer, you can buy this as a color book on Amazon. See? And use it as a reference. Use it as a tracing reference. Lay this down and put your paper over it and trace it. And then you can transfer that onto another piece of paper. During January, if anybody's interested, I can show how, if you have like a coloring book, how you trace your design onto a piece of tracing paper, and then how you can transfer that onto watercolor paper. So let me know if that's a lesson you would like to see. And thank you for being here. Remember, click that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends. Share your artwork with me on social media at Deliberately Creative on all of the outlets: Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. And if you do this, I will be posting a speed video of this cute little guy on my Tangy channel. And if you do it, you can actually post it right on that video on Tangy. And I have a link for my Tangy down below also. Tangy means to teach and give. And that's what I do over there, teach and give. So thank you. Remember, go out and do something creative. Take care of yourself so you can take care of those around you. I want to see you back here again really soon. Bye-bye.